forgotten one thing. Just as I'm going live, I forgot one thing. The hell? Hi everyone. Who's here? My bad. I thought I was prepared, and no, I realised I'm not. Not actually that prepared. 1 second, we'll get onto the topic. And so, there we go. Yeah, no intro, no nothing, just get straight into it. Talking into the mic and just chatting. So I'm only really going to talk for a short amount of time, not really going to talk for a long kind of period of time. Mainly because I don't have enough time to stream. There was a lot of stuff in the house going on, that's why I couldn't stream earlier. But we're just going to be talking about the next Xbox and next PlayStation. Mainly because there was a couple of things that I wanted to get off my chest, and me screaming into the void doesn't help. Clickbait title? No. It's not. She's going to talk about next gen. Really? So... there you go. Yeah. Guess everything. So yeah, so I wanted to talk about the Xbox 2 and the PS5, mainly because there's a bit more information has come out sort of recently. And if you're in chat, feel free to add your own comments. But yeah, so I've got some notes. I've got some news kind of things as well, so I can I'm prepared. So first of all, let's briefly talk about the name. Because if you don't know, the reason they called it the Xbox One was meant to be a all-in-one entertainment system. And obviously, I mean that was kind of the fault of it in the beginning, I guess. Yeah, and I'll get onto that later. Yeah, and then the PlayStation 5 makes sense. I did see something just now that said that the next Xbox has got the codename Scarlet, which won't be the final name. But if they go for something that they've had a previous Xbox codename for, like what they've had Scorpio, they've had what was their Durango and stuff. What was the one for Kinect? Kinect was something else that sounded so much cooler than Kinect. But yeah, so the name, the Xbox 2. I mean, we could just speculate for days about what the next Xbox is going to be called. They could continue the random number thing that was for the 360. And yeah, and make it the Xbox 720. They could call it the Xbox Infinity. That was also another code name for the Xbox One. Yeah, but it obviously, because the name is something that we can all speculate on and kind of give serious options or just ridiculous reasons. Whether you want to or not doesn't really matter. But yeah, so Xbox 2. It doesn't even feel like having the Xbox 2 is going to make sense either way. But okay, let's go on to the next thing. Which I just want to talk about a couple of the news things that have come up, which I guess is the reason why I wanted to do this kind of just chatting kind of thing / stream / video, whatever. is there's the information that the Xbox 2 is going to be more powerful than the PlayStation 5. Now, this information would be shocking in any case. Would be like a surprise or anything, but we don't even know. Do we even know? I'm pretty sure we don't even know. I mean, we definitely don't know the exact specs of the PlayStation 5. And we don't know the specs of the Xbox 2. So, saying that the next Xbox is more powerful than the next PlayStation doesn't really mean anything. It's just dribble by insiders at this point. Like saying the Xbox 2 is more powerful. But if we don't know the specs, if the specs haven't been released, because why would they have been released before the console has even been announced at all? So it makes no sense. But also, it could literally be like, okay, let's speculate on how. So let's just say, for all intents and purposes, the Xbox 2 is going to be more powerful than the PS5. Let's just say that that's going to be true. That could also be the most minute, more powerful thing at all. Like, let's like, I should have remembered this. I should have looked this up. The PS4 and the Xbox One are basically the same console. They're basically the same thing. And I believe one of the main differences between the PS4 and the Xbox One was that one of them, and I can't remember which one, I think it may have been the Xbox One, had DDR3 and the PS4 had DDR5. I think it's like a processing thing. And one, again, I can't remember which one. It was such a long time. It's been like 6 years since these consoles released, so give me a break. Yeah. So one of the DDR3 would, or DDR3 or DDR5, one of them would be faster processing, so there's less button lag. The other one would be faster processing of stuff on screen. And that was literally a difference. And even then, it was a minute difference. It's like one took priority over the other. And again, saying that one is more powerful than the other, it could go both ways. It literally could go both ways, where this one's considered more powerful because it does this, but the other one considered could be more powerful because of this. So, yeah, it doesn't make any sense. But then, if we also go into what the Xbox 2 could be releasing as, the Xbox 2 could have like a really sort of like huge bundle kind of thing that comes with like Kinect, whatever Xbox's version of VR is, and a huge hard drive for the Xbox, for the next Xbox. And then their lower price one could be a really cheap digital only one. Now, I obviously don't. I'm not a science person. I'm not that kind of thing. But if you were to make a digital only console, wouldn't it need to be more powerful to run stuff from a hard drive rather than run it from a disc? Am I correct in saying that? Because that kind of it makes sense in my head. So if it's not true, but I apologise. But that could be a thing. It could be that the sort of base level, sort of really cheap Xbox 2 is a digital only one, and then the next one up is the one that you get with the Kinect 3.0 if they want to keep doing that, the VR if they have one. And I guess that's I'll get into that later at the end, or near the end, because that's kind of like what could be releasing. possibly next year. I don't think that the Xbox 2 and the PlayStation 5 are going to be releasing this year. Although I believe Sony have a separate press conference or like game conference convention thing besides E3 this year. So they're not part of E3 this year. They're doing their own thing, I believe. You can tell I've done a lot of research into this. No, but this is the point. It's like I'm just trying to go off by what I can remember and what I've seen. It's not a great thing, but yeah. Okay, let's. I'll just go on to the next thing before I continue more rambling. So regardless of that, there's also something saying that it says here, the Sony PS5 hardware maker hypes new PlayStation's special sauce. First of all, why'd you have to name it like that? Why'd you have to say special sauce? Why? Why'd you have to say it like that? Like, no. But I think isn't it something to do with AMD, the processor and graphics card and stuff like that in the internals? I mean, they haven't said anything. It's just this PlayStation special sauce. Why? So okay. So the Xbox 2 is more powerful than the PS5, but the PS5 has special sauce in its hardware. What the fuck does any of this mean? like this, you're trying to make it sound cool, but you're just making it sound like just bullshit at this point. You're making it just sound weird. Anyway, and enough about these rumours, enough about these insiders being complete stupid. What else is it? Fucking, what is this? Xbox console price reveal. They haven't released the price because they haven't even announced the next Xbox. You can't put this information out there. You can't. Okay, leakers and whatever should not be the information be all end all. If they have information, they put it out there and they go to whoever, every source picks it up. If it's on Reddit, don't believe it. Don't believe it until it actually happens. Anyway, let's go away from rumors. Let's stop. Let's take a look back, and let's see. Well, let's talk about what Microsoft and Sony should and shouldn't do when announcing and what they have with their new consoles and stuff, and what's going to be coming with it and what they're going to essentially promote it as. Because obviously if we do that, we look at the Xbox One. Oh, the Xbox One conference, that was so bad. I've recently been going back and rewatching the channel Outside Xbox from the beginning, and I got to the point of the Xbox One release and then the bit afterwards, and it's just a train wreck because I mean, they started off as primarily Xbox based kind of thing. I guess they kind of still are as a channel. But yeah, and then it just and it's it's really hard for them to be optimistic in any way, because it's just PlayStation it's Sony just slamming Microsoft at every chance they get during E3, during the Microsoft press conference and then the Sony press conference. It's just fucking hilarious to watch and just experience again, when we could possibly be having the same thing again in the kind of thing. I mean, what happened first of all with let's go back, Xbox 360 and the PS3. The PS3 was way too expensive for what it was. It wasn't. It was similar to the Xbox 360, but because it had essentially a PS2 built in to the console, and it had a Blu-ray player, the price shot up. Now, as you can see with the Xbox One and the PS4, that same thing happened again. But in this time, it was in Sony's favor. The PS4 was way cheaper than the Xbox One because the Xbox One wanted you to buy the Kinect. Yes, you could get the PlayStation camera with your PS4, but you had to pay more on top of that. But you couldn't. You could get the PS4 separately without the camera. You didn't have to get the camera at the same time. Whereas Microsoft were kind of like, at the beginning, I will say, at the beginning, oh no, you have to have the Kinect. You have to be connected, and then all the TV stuff. That's all. So first things first. Don't. If you want to have the PSVR, the PlayStation camera, the PlayStation Move controllers, the Kinect, whatever Xbox's VR thing will be, or there'll be, because I believe the HTC Vive works with it, but it's not branded as Xbox. So some people don't know that you can hook up your HTC to your Xbox One, which you can do for VR. Just don't ask me how to do it because I play one game on the Xbox One, and that's Forza. But yeah, but that's a thing. If you're going to be releasing the bundle with like the VR kind of, essentially like the VR bundle or the Kinect bundle kind of thing, have one. I mean, okay. It has occurred to me that if a exec at Sony or Microsoft are going to be watching me, yeah, they're not going to be listening to me. But I just need to get this out there. That's the thing. But yeah, if you're gonna have a bundle that has the VR and Kinect sort of thing with the console, have a separate one where it's just the console. Don't do what Microsoft did with the Xbox One, because that's a surefire way for one, the price to go up. So then the casual audience is definitely going to be like, well, like just families. They're going to go into a shop. They're going to go into Argos. They're going to go into Game. They're going to go into Walmart or something. They're going to go in and they're going to see that the Xbox 2 is $450, and then they're going to see the PS5 is $380, and then they're going to go, okay, well, we'll get the cheaper one, because a lot of, like, families aren't really going to care that much about the specs, what kind of accessories it comes with, and unless like only hardcore gamers know what exclusives are on Xbox versus PlayStation. Only hardcore gamers are going to know that, okay, yes, there is a Kinect onto it, which is the price difference between the Xbox and the PlayStation. That the PlayStation has better exclusives compared to the Xbox, and PlayStation does this, and you already have a PlayStation, you already have an Xbox. Whereas the casual kind of fan base, or even casual players, families and whatever, they're not really gonna care that much about certain games. So but then we go into the next thing. So the first one is kind of like bundles, and don't bundle accessories if that's the only package you can buy for that console. Don't do it. Now, next one is don't go straight for the ultra casual gamers, because that's what the Xbox One did wrong again, where the Xbox One was pretty much entirely, its entire E3 thing was, okay, here's some games, but hey, did you know that it can connect with your TV and you can watch TV on your Xbox? You could switch to your Xbox, which I don't think you can. again, I have an Xbox One S. I don't have like the Xbox One when it came out. I don't have an Xbox One X. Played a, I haven't played an Xbox One original one or an Xbox One X, so I can't say for certain. But I'm pretty sure you can't watch TV going through connecting your Xbox and stuff, because just I don't know why, but you can't, or no one's mentioned it. No one's mentioned it like that. And if you actually go back to the thing where I think his name was Yusuf, I'm sorry for throwing you under the bus, mate, but you had the remote control in your pocket and you were changing it to the TV, to the film, to the music, to the game trailer, to the dashboard, with your hand in your pocket. If you're gonna try and fake that kind of thing because the technology isn't there, or you're trying to appeal to people who aren't going to be watching E3, like that's another thing. People are watching E3 and are going to be knowing all the information from E3 and watching the live streams and watching all the coverage and stuff, are hardcore gamers. Like, yes, okay, you can appeal to casual people, but don't let that be the focus of what you're doing. Like, don't constantly talk about film, TV, sports, Skype. Like, come on. Like, okay, when they were advertising or showing off the kind of Snap kind of feature where you can have like they showed the film playing and then also Skype. Why didn't you just show the game being played, a game, and then having like Xbox Party Chat, or again Skype, or anything else? Like, don't appeal too much to the casuals. Like, you can appeal to the casuals in terms of like, oh, if you're not that much into, shooter, FPS, hardcore games, we also have these games. We have Lego games. We have, I'm trying to think of like other kind of, we've got like other racing games. We've got, Sonic Team Racing. We've got other things. And that more appeals to casual gamers without going too much into it being an entertainment system that replaces everything in your house. Because again, it's probably an American thing rather than a British thing, but over here in the UK, we pay for our TV, our cable, our phone thing through like one provider. That provider gives you a set-top box, like a cable box, that then you use that and plug that into your TV. You can't. You get all your things through that. You don't connect that to something else to watch it or anything. It's like you can't watch certain things that are on through another provider with that box unless you pay money to them. Doing that kind of TV and Xbox thing, it doesn't work. It doesn't work in the UK. So it could be an American thing, but no one ever talked about it. No one ever did anything of it. That I watched anyway. Yeah. So first of all, don't appeal too much to the casual audience. And don't have, if you're gonna have a bundle with your accessories and stuff, don't make it. Yeah, have one where it's just the console and like one game or something. Whilst, I mean, what else shouldn't happen? Like at this point, it'd be more hardcore gamer stuff. That would, yeah. I would also say that if they planned to do something for like 8K. Is that a thing? Is 8K a thing? I don't know if 8K is a thing or it might be a thing. Like, that also goes back to the Xbox 2 might be more powerful than the PS5. If the Xbox 2 is already preparing to have 8K gaming and the PS5 doesn't, that's also going to be another thing where a lot of, again, casual gamers and other kind of thing aren't going to be interested in something that's got 8K when the only thing you can do right now is, at the best, is 4K. And even then TVs still, you can still buy quite a lot of TVs that aren't ready for 4K. And I assume if someone's bought a TV in the past 5 years, it might not have the ability to do 4K apart from 4K, like film, or like Blu-ray or 4K films, or YouTube videos. You know? And then there's a bunch of stuff. Other bunches of stuff. Other things they shouldn't do. Don't do the DRM thing. Don't make it a thing to be online all the time. Or at least an online check-in once every 24 hours, once a month, or whatever. That's bad. That's bad. I mean, as we proved with Xbox One again with their pre-owned game system. And I would just put this aside. This goes for the Xbox SAD edition, which, yes, Xbox One S all digital edition. If you acronym that, XBO SAD. Comes up with these names. But yeah, it goes for that one as well. If they do a digital version, I don't think the an all digital console will work. I know it sounds weird, but think about it. An all digital console at this point would just be a PC. Because how many times do you buy discs for PCs now? You don't. But the problem with consoles versus PC gaming is that right now, if you're wanting to buy a PS4 or an Xbox One, right now, at the end of its life cycle, to be like, you know what, I had a PS4 the entire time, I had an Xbox One the entire time, and there are a couple of games I wanted to know from the other console kind of thing. Like, if you had an Xbox One, you want to see PS4 exclusives. You're not going to go buy the digital version of the console. I know it's not a digital version of the PS4, let me just get this out. The digital version of the PS4 or digital version of the Xbox One, you wouldn't do that because the digital games are very expensive compared to the physical copies. For example, there's a shop in the UK, I'm not sure if it's in Europe, but it's CEX. It stands for Computer Exchange, but it also goes by KEX, like a hard K, but it's a C. Shut up, whatever. Yeah, they thrive pretty much off pre-owned games, CDs, movies, consoles, controllers, everything, really. Everything is pre-owned, pretty much. You go in, trade in your stuff, get some cash, get some vouchers, and then you can go buy more games from them, and whatever. And if you were to get, I mean, I will use this as an example. My Xbox that I had since 2010, beginning of 2010, my 360, the disc tray was completely broken, basically. So, but a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago, I went and bought another one. I bought the best one's got 500 gigabytes? 500 gigabytes of hard drive space. I went and bought that. You know how much that was? £60. It was about maybe $80 to $90, maybe even $100. I'm not entirely sure. It's about that much. And then I was looking at some of the 360 games. Some of the cheapest 360 games you can get, 10p, 50p, a pound. Like some of the games that I was looking at to actually go and get, so such as Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning or Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen, is £3. Now, what would you rather buy? Would you rather buy a cheap pre-owned Xbox One and then go buy, like, I don't know, Forza Motorsport 5, Sunset Overdrive, trying to think of other games, Halo 5, Halo 4, or Halo Master Chief Collection, like physically, for probably the combine of like £10-15, maybe even 20, or would you rather go onto the Xbox Marketplace and buy those games individually for about £20 each? It's just cheaper to buy a disc console and buy pre-owned disc games rather than trying to buy digitally. Like, what needs to happen is what's happened on Steam, which there needs to be basically every game is cheap and then is super cheap on any like deal or sale time. Which, granted, that's what PlayStation have been doing recently. I mean, the game Grip, which is just Roll Cage's spiritual successor from PlayStation 1. That game released end of last year, and we're only in May, so in the 5th month, and it's already gone on sale from its £35 asking price to about £13. And there's a bunch of other games as well. There's Far Cry 5 and Far Cry New Dawn have been on sale a couple of times since they got released. I believe the Resident Evil 2 remake is on sale, which is good. Which is a good thing to see digital games go down in price. But having an all digital console isn't good now, and wasn't good, and was completely wrong when the Xbox One originally released. So don't do that kind of thing. Don't screw up digital games or physical games. Because, you know, despite me not buying many physical games for the PS4, I still get, you know, other physical media. I still buy CDs. I like having CDs there. It's just something I like. Okay, so we looked at some stuff that shouldn't happen, but how about a couple of things I don't want? Me personally, personal opinion right now. Personal opinion of what I don't want from either console. And I'll specify. So first of all, I don't want the price of the PlayStation Plus or Xbox Gold or anything to go up in price. I know the Xbox Live has gone up in price to match the PlayStation Plus price, which is now like £50 for a year, which I think is a bit steep. I think it's a bit steep considering it was £40, and now some of the games that they've been releasing for like their monthly games have not really gotten that better, and because they've taken some of the PS3 and Vita games from that list as well. So if you had a PS3 or a Vita, you could get free games for that console as well. Now it's just kind of like, it's not as good, it's not worth it anymore. But it is because of the online. Obviously a lot of people use it for the online. So as long as you're going to keep playing online, you kind of do that. And also another thing, I would like it if, on the opposite scale of things, I would like if Sony actually, for the PlayStation Plus free games, instead of them like completely just being locked out of your console until you get PlayStation Plus again to play those games, kind of wish they did the Xbox thing of letting you play them even if you don't have Xbox Live Gold anymore. No, obviously that kind of makes sense, but that is kind of a thing why people say, "Oh, PlayStation Plus is worse than Xbox Live" at that point. Um, yeah, I mean it's a little thing. So the what else? Don't make the controllers any more terrible. Like the PS4 controller, uh, I like the PS4 controller. I actually went to use a PlayStation 1 controller without the analog sticks, and then a PlayStation 2 controller that has analog sticks. Like PlayStation 1 with no analog sticks, PlayStation 1 with analog sticks, and then a normal PlayStation DualShock 2. And I used those, and it felt really weird. Like the control felt really weird. Like the PS4 feels more comfortable in my hand than the PS2. Um, Now, I could be saying that the other way around as well, going from an Xbox 360 to a PS4 controller. That was kind of hard to do, but not too hard. Because the PlayStation controller now, like, if they keep the touchpad, I wouldn't be disappointed. Or if they got rid of it, I wouldn't be too disappointed. But if they wanted to, if they're doing the thing of having backwards compatibility for the PS5 to have PS4 games, and the Xbox 2 to do Xbox One games, and subsequently Xbox 360 games as well, then for the PS4, the controller would have to have the touchpad still. So for the PS5, I don't think they should really change anything about the control. If they want to do some things to it, I don't know, maybe make it less wider, like because the controller is a bit wide to accommodate the touchpad, and there's probably, and I'm looking at it right now. There's a lot of space where they could very much sort of like move sort of maybe sort of move some buttons slightly together, like not too much to be like it feels like it's overlapping or anything. But yeah, again, that's my 2 cents. But obviously, because people want to hear me talk about it, I hate the Xbox One controller, so I want them to go back to the Xbox 360 controller. The it no one plays a shooting game probably where the triggers are mostly involved by sort of rolling their index finger over the triggers. Like instead of sort of like moving sort of your index finger joints to push the buttons, you just roll, like you don't like articulate your finger at all. You just go along like that no one plays games like that. Like it may be helpful for kind of somewhat racing games, but like for shooting games, which primarily is what a lot of games are on consoles, that's not it's not a good design. Combined with the fact it just the bumpers and the triggers just feel complete shite on the Xbox One. So do the face buttons, not the D-pad or the analog stick, just the face buttons, the A, B, X, Y. It does feel genuinely like shit. Like the B button is falling off of the controller. Like it doesn't feel right to hold either. It feels like I have to kind of like think about how I'm holding the controller. Whereas like the PS4, like the PS4 feels like a refined controller. Like I know a lot of people say, oh, the PS4 controller is the same as the PlayStation 1 controller. It is, but like they started with a controller from the beginning, and then they went, okay, well, it's good. We'll just keep doing it, and then they kept doing it. And then the PS4, the only reason the PS4 controller is different is because of the touchpad. Whereas the Xbox One controller basically went from perfection, the 360 controller, to the Xbox One controller, which is trash. It's complete trash. I do not care. It's complete trash. It doesn't feel like nice to hold in any way. Like there's like I was watching again another one of the videos about the Xbox One sort of release and everything, people playing it. I was like, okay, what's the difference between this and the Xbox 360 controller? They go, well, it's pretty much the same, except what we've done is we've added vibration motors into the triggers as well. And I'm like, what? When did that happen? And I'm like, okay, look, like, okay, so what was wrong with getting a 360 controller and adding the vibration motors into the triggers? Like, I don't see a problem with that. And then making the sticks sort of less effort to push them. And I'm like, does that really make much of a difference? Okay, fine, you can have that as well. But why did you have to change the design so it doesn't? What it is, right? It's a controller that's oh fuck, I should have wrote this down. Let me put it in my hands 1 second. Yeah, it's like none of like the handles or the sort of grips are pronounced enough to make you feel secure when you're holding it. Like I feel like there should be more sort of to the grip that I'm holding. Like I feel like I feel like I'm just holding like it there's no like pronounced kind of like back of the controller. It feels like the battery pack takes up too much sort of space at the back, so there's nowhere to sort of like feel secure when I'm holding it. Like unlike the I mean the PS4 thing does the kind of same thing, but like the grips, like where the battery is, where the light bar is, where kind of like the middle of the PS4 controller is, it's a sort of rectangle there, and then there's more space underneath to hold the controller. This is going to sound stupid. But then with the Xbox, they've gotten the middle bit and they've just extended it like down so you don't feel like you're actually holding the controller. Like go right now, go look up an Xbox or go pick up your Xbox One controller. Go pick up your Xbox 360 controller, right? And you could tell that the grips at the bottom, it doesn't feel it doesn't feel like you're trying to grip a controller. It kind of feels like you're trying to grip like your TV remote or something. It like I don't know. I like I know I just can't. It's really hard to explain without it just sounding just like oh it's stupid because it's stupid. But genuinely, I just don't like the Xbox One controller. If they went back to, if they basically got this like, let me try and no, because what happened is that, like, I mean, I've got a wired 360 controller, and like because there's no battery pack there, even with the battery pack, there was like a little grip that you could hold on to. That was kind of like that's where your fingers go. With the Xbox One, it doesn't feel like that's there. It feels like the entire back of the controller just kind of, just it sucks. It feels like there's nothing to grip onto. It feels like I have to rest it in my hands, and that's not. It doesn't feel like a controller. It feels like an experiment that they kind of just kept going along with. I'm like, okay, right, you can have all your fancy stuff, you can have all your vibration modes and whatever, but just make it like the Xbox 360 controller. Like, make it like a proper controller. Don't make it like some kind of experiment. Don't do what the Steam controller did. Don't do that. Like, why do you think all the knockoff controllers of anything always have the Xbox 360 layout and feel to it? Because that is the best controller to ever exist. Hell, people complain about the Joy-Cons for the Switch a lot, how small they are. The Joy-Cons are better than the Xbox One controller. Like seriously, if the Duke controller, the original Xbox controller, was the standard controller for the Xbox One, that would be better for the Xbox One than the Xbox One controller. It just would. Like, the Xbox One controller feels like it it's it it feels like a controller that's too big. It it feels like it's a controller designed for small hands, but it's too big. If that makes any sense. Like, small hands would be fine, but the controller's too big for people with small hands. So, anyway, let's stop doing that. Now let's talk about the positives. Let's talk about what they should do, and what could be good things about this. Well, let's talk about how Microsoft may actually have good exclusives this time around. Kinda. Yeah, and also just what's going to be coming out about the next consoles. Well, as I mentioned earlier, the consoles probably going to get released end of next year. If they get released at the end of this year, that's going to be probably the biggest shock, because like it doesn't feel right for them to come out this year, especially with Microsoft releasing the digital edition. Why would they release a digital edition of a console? Actually, think about it. They released the sort of the final perfect, as they kind of probably called it, edition of the Xbox 360 before or while they were announcing the Xbox One. So they could. I don't know. If they bring it out this year, it'll be a surprise for me anyway. If they bring it out next year, I can say I called it. But yeah, but with PlayStation and Sony obviously doing their own kind of conference thing alongside E3, which then is going to be a long week for reporters, for games journalists. Whew, that's going to be a bad thing. But yeah, with them doing that, it kind of sounds like they're going to announce the next console. But again, they could announce it and then be like, well, it's going to be out next year. And they could... But, see, no, because they'd release it around... They'd release it before Christmas, so then pre-order sales would go up. And then when it comes around for Christmas, you know, a month or two after it gets released, then boom, it'll be... kind of thing. And a lot of consoles get released at the end of the year, in the last quarter of the year. I mean, the Xbox One, the PS4, prime examples, the Nintendo Switch as well, the 360 and PS3 as well, kind of around October, November, that kind of thing. So for them to go like, oh yeah, it's going to be released at the beginning of next year, like kind of spring, beginning of spring, that's a bit... That would be a big... probably a bigger shock than it coming out later this year. What... Yeah, what else? I guess another thing we'd want, everyone would want, is cross-platform play to be more of a thing. Like, that would have been an especially big thing with the Xbox One and the PS4, because obviously pretty much everyone had a 360. Like, I can't think of any friends I had that were like, oh yeah, I have a PS3 over an Xbox 360. Pretty much all my friends, when it came out, and up until the PS4 and the Xbox One, they all had 360s. I swapped to the PS4 because, one, it was cheaper, and second of all, I had many problems. Like, me personally, my service provider and Xbox Live just didn't want to work together properly. Like, I had a wired connection for my 360, because you had to buy a wireless adapter if you want to do it wireless. So I had a wired connection, and the amount of times trying to download Black Ops 2 DLC was it was ridiculously hard to do so. There'd be an error message, and the only thing I could get to fix it was, oh, have you tried restarting your router? No, I haven't done that. Have you tried talking to your internet service provider? And I talked to them, and they're like, there's nothing to do with us. And I talked to Xbox, and they go, there's nothing to do with us. So I'm like, one of you is lying. But yeah, but then I went to PS4, and yeah, okay, there was, 5 days where PlayStation was down after I got my console, like in January of 2015, I believe. 2015? Yeah, because I got my console in 2014, in 2015, yeah. There was 5 days where it went down, so I was playing Watch Dogs during that point. I couldn't play Advanced Warfare. I was playing Watch Dogs. And then came back, and they were like, hey, yeah, because of that, we're going to give you 5 extra days of your PlayStation Plus back to you. Microsoft never did that. If Xbox Live was down, they were just like, nah, fucking deal with it. And obviously, if I have external problems, it isn't to do with the Xbox Live service. They're not going to give me back my time. Like, I understand that, but it just... But yeah, like, want their services... Want their service to be properly security protected and stuff, so, you know, people's information just can't be leaked, you know. That'd be nice. The cross-platform play would be a nice thing. Backwards compatibility. If backwards compatibility is an actual thing, I might even trade in my PS4 for a PS5. Because the only reason because obviously I cared about backwards compatibility as well. But obviously I never had a PS3, so changing to a PS4 over an Xbox One, backwards compatibility didn't really matter if the PS4 didn't have it, which it doesn't. Has the streaming service PS Now. But yeah, but when even now the Xbox One can't do original Xbox games. But that's the only reason I kept my 360, and that's the only reason why I keep my PS2 as well, is because, like, I can't play those games on the newer consoles, because newer consoles kind of refuse to. And I understand why, because they have to have, like, basically another console inside that console to do that. And then we come to the final thing, I guess, of what the bundles and stuff should look like, and how the consoles should be released. Or what? First of all, what I want is I don't care how you do it. I partly don't care how expensive it is. Kind of do, but I partly don't. If the PS5 or the Xbox 2 basically has like an entire Xbox One, Xbox 360, original Xbox, or PS1, PS2, PS3, PS4 in the console itself, to be like, hey, you can play old PS3 games on this, you can play old PS1 games on this, PS2 games on this, PS3 games on this. I would love that, but it's not going to happen. But if it did, that would be amazing. Okay, let's go on to the final thing. So, in terms of sort of bundles with the console, again, to go back to that kind of the price points is what Xbox One did wrong, the PS3 did wrong as well. Not wrong, they just, you know, they added stuff that made the price go up, which then everyone went, well, I don't want that, I want the cheaper one. Especially the casual audience. Because obviously the Wii was really cheap and everyone had a Wii. Everyone either had a PS3 and Xbox 360, and then they also had a Wii. It's just fact. But yeah, so the sort of bundles, what they should be doing is they should be having more than just, say, 2 bundles, like one that has a bigger hard drive and one that's kind of the cheaper version. Because obviously, if Microsoft are going to go all in with this digital thing, then they'll have essentially two sort of sets of bundles. Well, they'll have the digital Xbox 2s, and then they'll have the non-digital Xbox 2s. And then in terms of that, how many bundles could they have of things? Well, maybe two. Because you could have one that has... you could have one bundle that has the Xbox 2 plus the Kinect, HTC Vive, let's just say, and a big hard drive. Like, what, 4 terabytes, I think, is the... or would be the biggest. Because right now I think the biggest is maybe 2 terabytes. So if they went for 4 terabytes, started with the cheap one that was 2 terabytes. They could even do a really bog standard cheap one. It literally comes with a controller, one controller, the console, and one game, and 1 terabyte hard drive. They could just do that kind of thing. And then the next one up could be a 2 terabyte hard drive. You get 2 controllers, you get a game, and then the next one up would be the one with the bundle, like the VR bundle that's got the VR Kinect and that kind of thing. So then you'd obviously have the digital versions. That'd be digital version 1 terabyte, digital version 2 terabyte, 2 controllers, digital version VR kind of stuff. And then obviously you have the ones that are disc based. But I don't think Microsoft would have that many options to choose from. I think they'll have a digital version and a disc version, but they'll have both of them will have to come with Kinect at the beginning, and then they'll drop the Kinect for around Christmas time. So if you want to pre-order, you have to get Kinect. If you want it for Christmas, it's not going to come with a Kinect, or you can choose one without Kinect. That kind of bundle. Or they could just literally just have, here's a Kinect bundle and HTC Vive, and then here's one without. Or they could do, here's one with a bigger hard drive, here's one with a small hard drive. They could do that. And then PlayStation obviously would do the same thing, but they wouldn't have a digital-only version. They would have the PS5 small hard drive, PS5 big hard drive, with PSVR. Because that will definitely be a part of a bundle. Again, that's the thing. If Sony advertise that as their kind of main one, it will come with the PS5, with PSVR, and the PlayStation camera, and PlayStation Move controllers, that's going to be a very high price point. Something, and that'll be like kind of the sort of the Xbox 360 Elite kind of version compared to sort of the Xbox Arcade version. Or what was the other one? There's normal edition. Like that kind of thing. So, I don't know. Right now, right now it's all up in the air. I just wanted to make this kind of shorter video than what I'm used to, because normally I just upload full streams. Yeah, I just kind of want to put this out there, because I wasn't going to stream games, but I did kind of want to put something out there, and I just wanted to talk about this a bit, because it's kind of been going around in my head, and I can't really talk to some people, because they aren't hardcore gamers. So if I talk to them about the hardcore kind of thing, and consoles that haven't even been announced properly yet, they're going to be like, what are you talking about? Whereas, yeah, don't really have any hardcore gamers. But I wanted to get this out there. I kind of wanted to see if anyone feels the same way, where maybe Sony may fuck up this time because they have PSVR and PSVR 2.0 to sort of thing. But considering they learnt from PS3 and then Xbox One, Microsoft maybe, so they may be on equal footing this time. And until we get specs, we can't really tell which one's going to be more powerful. That's just a fact. until we get specs. We can't tell which one's going to be more powerful. But realistically, they're going to be the same thing. They're going to be current PC spec level of console as of whenever they release. And in terms of what's going to be better overall, it depends. It depends. If PlayStation 5 has backwards compatibility with PS4, like just entirely outright, you know, PS5 can play PS4 games entirely, and then also use PlayStation Now to play PS3, PS2, possibly even PS1 games to sort of the full extent, then it may have an advantage. And then obviously if the Xbox 2 comes around and says, oh, we have Xbox One backwards compatibility as well as Xbox 360 backwards compatibility, and then we're also adding a ton of the original Xbox games to the Xbox Live Game Pass. If they had a lot of original Xbox games to the Xbox Game Pass as well, yeah, that'd be a great thing as well. And then they'll definitely be on even footing. And then for me, it will just come down to then at that point I'll probably just get a PS5. But I guess it also comes down to the price then at that point. And if they're the same price, and then they've got VR versions which are the same price, a bit more expensive, or if the PlayStation has a VR price for a VR bundle. And the controllers are nice, depending on which one. Because obviously, if Xbox 2 goes in the same thing as Xbox One, and they have the same controller, but PS5 has the same controller as the PS4, then I'm just going to go with the PS5, because I think that controller is superior to the Xbox One. I think every controller is superior to the Xbox One. The Dreamcast controller is superior to the Xbox One. Yeah, I guess that's all I kind of wanted to say. Both companies, Microsoft and Sony, have both realised what it's like to fuck up and be drastically hit by it. Look at PS4's ad campaign, or sort of whenever they advertise like their console or an exclusive to their thing, it's always PlayStation for the players. Like that kind of slogan came from Xbox One fucking up their E3 press conference so much because it was for more casual, for watching the TV, where PlayStation were just like, we're a gaming console. Yeah. As of right now, it seems like both consoles are very even footing. And the only thing that would probably deter me is just the controller at this point. But we'll definitely see, hopefully, at E3, in like a month's time or something? Maybe 2 months' time? I don't know when E3 is. I think it's July, so it is 2 months. In about 2.5 months' time, maybe. Yeah, we'll see. I won't be doing another one of these probably until maybe after E3. Hopefully by that point I'll be doing videos properly, so I could probably cut this down to like 10-15 minutes as an actual video. But I guess, thank you guys for watching. If you want to put your own comments down below of anything, please do. Tweet at me on Twitter at StealthyWolfXLI. Follow me on Twitch, because I do stream games, not just talk about consoles. I promise. Please. Yeah. Thank you guys for watching, and peace out.